Hi there, just read this disclaimer please.
Heading towards the close in the US, I'm just going to do the same thing I did last time with the second 8 grand. I paid the 8 grand into Trading 212 this morning, so that's there waiting to be invested. So I guess I'll just go through the list again. Well, obviously this is the current holdings, up by 75 quid. So obviously the holding percentages have kind of meandered with the share prices over the past however long I've had them in. I'm not going to pay any attention to this. I'm just going to do the same buys as I did last time, because it's obviously it's never going to be exact anyway. So I think I might give it a go on my mobibular phone, just to see what it's like really. Screen recorder, right? Let's get the screen recorder going then. Record. Video. Right, so into the app. I'll have to hide my login code that I've set up. Right, so there's the portfolio. As you can see there, I've added the 8 grand this morning. Free funds 8,000 plus a 20p interest that I got paid last time. I think I'll just do it this way because it's in order, so I can just go alphabetically like that. And there's this thing with the screen recorder, and I keep touching it by accident. How do I get rid of it? I'll leave it in the corner there. Right, so first of all, alphabet. This might be a bit easier actually, because I can just alphabet by, I presume that brings up the numbers. Yeah, that brings up the numbers. So it's pretty much the same as doing it on the laptop really. 212.8, tick, review order, send by order. I guess I'll just XXX that out to show that I've done it. Amazon. ADP. Right, I think that's all the American ones done now. Let's just double check, shall we? So that's done. I guess the way of checking is the amount of money left should match. Yeah, 1425.6 and 20p of interest from before. Yep, so that's right. And there's the portfolio with the new values, I hope. I wish I could sort it. Anyway, there's the new values. Okay, so I guess I'll leave the app then, as that's all done now till tomorrow. Okay, cool. So those highlighted cells are telling me what I need to do tomorrow. So in terms of the number of Fundsmith units I need to sell tomorrow to get 8 grand, as close to 8 grand as possible, I reckon I might just be best off using today's price, because it's pretty flat, isn't it? The estimate is pretty flat. So divided by £6.45, 1240. Alright gang, so I'm about to make my European purchases, but this morning I got my first dividend from LVMH. So I've been paid £2.40 and the dividend is €7.50. I think it's cents, isn't it, for euros, the decimal. So if I put that into my spreadsheet here, that's the amount I have been paid, £2.40. So I've used the currency conversion for today. What I've done is I've taken off the 0.15% trading 212 charges for the currency conversion. €7.50 is put in there, multiplied by the number of shares I own, about half a share, and then I've taken off 25%, and that gets me to about £2.40. I took 25% off as my first guess because this is the first result that came up when I googled it beforehand. 25%. So actually the American ones are looking quite good, aren't they? Anyway, let's get buying. Gone back to using the laptop, can't be bothered using the phone. So it's that one, isn't it? And we buy 280. Buy. Done. I feel like there's an extra penny in there. The orders, let's see if any of these are like a penny. Ah, there we go, LVMH, penny short. That's why there's an extra penny in there. When I bought the US stocks for the second batch, both of the Google Sheets was suggesting that the Fundsmith portfolio would be about flat. So I calculated that I'd needed 1,240 units to be sold of Fundsmith to match the £8,000 that I put in. So I'm testing out the voiceover on this new app I'm using. Basically, I'm talking about Meta going down after hours here, and I mentioned that Microsoft went down after hours, and I looked at the chart afterwards and I'm starting to doubt myself whether it did or not. Either way, the upshot of it is my estimate of flat was very much wrong, and so the end result is quite a big drop in Fundsmith when I was estimating a flat day for Fundsmith. See, this is the result from yesterday. At noon yesterday it went down 2.35%. So rather annoyingly, I bought £8,000 worth of Fundsmith stocks in Trading 212 and I only sold 7,805 of the actual fund itself. Not the end of the world. It's just a bit annoying that now my cash balance, the cash balance that was about, it used to be almost 4,200, it's now only 4,000. Not a big deal. That's that done. I mean, that now leaves me with 1,500 units of the fund itself, which equates to, if I delete the Trading 212 part there, so that I've still got almost 10 grand in the actual fund itself. Now there's a couple of alternatives I can do with that. I could just wait until next April 6th and just do the same again with the 9,448 or however much it is. That's one option. Or I could sell it and buy an ETF that is tradable in Trading 212, and I can then transfer that ETF over to Trading 212. Problem is that's a very new thing, and it's a new law actually. It's new that you can partially transfer ISAs from one to the other by law, and it's also new for Trading 212 actually facilitating it. So I want to just wait and see. I want to get some reports back from people who have done these sorts of things before I consider doing it myself. So for the time being, I'm just going to leave that almost 10 grand in the fund. And so I've updated the spreadsheet with all of the new buys. Oh, I know what's to report. Alphabet started paying a dividend. They just followed Meta, basically. And I noticed that when Meta did their first dividend a few months ago, it made their yield almost exactly the same as Apple at the time. It's a bit different now, but Apple's yield was exactly the same. And you'll notice that Google have judged it almost exactly the same as Meta. See there, the yields, 0.45, 0.44. They're obviously just copying each other. They're trying not to... They don't want to pay out too much, but they also don't want their yield to be any lower than their competitor. So it's all a bit contrived, isn't it? These token gesture yields. But anyway, it's a nice £2.72 extra for my income, even though it takes away more than that from my capital because it gets taxed at 15%. So anyway, it's kind of good news. And I suppose it's good news because the market liked it. Because even if it's just a technicality, there's some fund managers who because of their rules cannot own Google because there's no dividend. And all it takes is this token gesture dividend for it to suddenly be available to them by their rules. Which is it's a silly set of rules to begin with, but hey, they're the rules they've got. But so the market liked it. I know it says down 1.97% there, but that is... Let's have a look on Google's own website. You see? Oh, I know why. It's because the market... It was after hours trading that it went up. Look, it was after hours where it went up 11%. And Google Sheets doesn't show the after hours. So when the market's open in about... Is it an hour? I think it's an hour and a half. Yeah, in about an hour and a half, we should see something like this price for Google. So the cash, as I mentioned in my hypnosis video, I'm just waiting on what to do with this £4,000 that's in the portfolio. But there is also an extra £4,000 because I sold £8,000 worth roughly of Fundsmith. So what I've done, I decided to wait, and what I've done is I've put the money into a ultra short term bond ETF. Now I chose an ETF because of what I was just saying. If I did want to strike while the iron's hot on some buy, if the market's dropped a lot and I want to put that £4,000 to work, I can do it instantly with the ETF. On the downside, there's a little bit of a spread, but with the spread and the £5 to buy and the £5 to sell, I've worked out that I need to hold this ETF for about 10 days to cover the cost of the buys and the sells and the tiny spread. So long as my opportunity doesn't come within 10 days, this will have been a good move to put it in the ultra short bond fund. I'm not sure if technically it's a money market fund, but people use it as if it's a money market fund. This was the other option, and it would have been better because it's an accumulation one. But if you look at the price, I would have been leaving a lot on the table. I did the sums, and the amount I wanted to put in there would have left about 600, 500 quid not being used and not getting interest, or not getting coupons, should I say. So I went for this other one instead, ERNS. Where is it? That one there. Because it's a lower price, so I could get closer to the amount. I've only got like 47 quid left over in the ISA at the moment. I have consolidated. I had three tabs here, and I've just consolidated all the information into this one. So I've still got a track of what the real Fundsmith portfolio is, because I've written here which ones are in Fundsmith, and I've written here which ones have excluded from Fundsmith. So I'm still keeping track of Fundsmith, but with one fewer or two fewer sheets in the Google Sheet workbook. In terms of maintaining the portfolio, all I'll do each month is I'll go to Fundsmith's website, I'll go on the fact sheet. Next Wednesday, normally it's the same day. Next Wednesday, this will get updated, and this top 10 holdings list will get updated. So, Meta's going to go down the list, and who knows, Alphabet might join the top 10. So all I'll do is I'll sort my spreadsheet by the holding size, and then I'll just do whatever moves I need to do. Like I'll sell a little bit of one, buy a little bit of another. Whatever moves I need to do to get his top 10 matching my top 10, I'll just do in trading 212. So it's kind of approximate, and it's just kind of gradually correcting itself as time goes by. But the only information I'm using there though is the fact that it went into or out of the top 10, and the order changed within the top 10. That's the only thing. So it's just small changes that probably leave like 2/3 of the portfolio that never hit the top 10 are probably still complete guesses as to the percentage holdings. But it's correcting with the information that's there, and it doesn't take too much effort to get that information. Like I had a helpful comment in one of the videos, or two of the videos actually, telling me that I can at the end of the year write to them and they'll send me a full list of the holdings. But I think that will be out of date information anyway, and it's just a little bit too much effort for me, because I'm not too bothered about this being an exact approximation. I'll put in the effort that gives me the gains without much effort actually going into it. But any more than that, I can't be bothered. I mean, I've got holdings he doesn't even own, so it's already quite a bit different anyway because of those. Yeah, so the GSK holding that I was going to put in the ISA, I decided to wait because I want to put that $4,000 into those two companies or similar, and I want to keep that money in the ISA waiting to be used. But when I eventually use them, that won't leave enough. I've only got about $8,000. That won't leave enough to shelter GSK in one move. So I'm better off just waiting for the dividends to come in the iWeb ISA to cover, so that they cover the $4,000 I've got waiting to be invested, but also cover the GSK. It won't be long either, but to get that money built up, because most of my dividends get paid into the iWeb ISA anyway. So somewhere near. I mean, there's other accounts as well, but let's say maybe probably like $6,000 a year goes into the iWeb ISA at least. So it won't be long before I'll have enough to cover the GSK going in there, but also the $4,000 being freshly invested. I think that is it. I'll stop rabbiting now. So I'll see you next time. Bye.